Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Friday. Okay, we're finally getting into the weekend, which by the way, it's great because then I can take a break and try to figure out what's going on with the eye and not be stressed out or have anxiety. But you know who probably has anxiety right now is Captain Lee, who is finally responding. Everybody knows that one of Bravo fans' favorite relationships, well, that would be Captain Lee and Carl Radke, right? Well, now Captain Lee is finally responding because he was supposed to go to said wedding with Lindsay Hubbard. And then, of course, yesterday we talked a little bit about the baby mama drama sort of situation. We're going to get into it. You guys know we will. But before we do, smash the like button, show some love, and don't forget, right after this video, go over to the main channel because we are doing Hot Messy Topics on Up and Atom at 12 p.m. Eastern. Let's do it.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Atom.
All right, guys. So we're going to talk about the Captain Lee of it all because Captain Lee was supposed to be, well, the wedding officiant of said wedding, right? Of Lindsay and Carl's wedding, which would have been iconic. It would have been amazing, but the wedding's not happening. And now he's talking about it on the latest episode of his podcast. So months after Carl spoke of Lee acting as his and Lindsay's officiant at their would have been wedding on Watch What Happens Live, he admitted that he was caught off guard by the news as he confirmed that Carl did text him a few days ago since he called off the engagement. Carl Radke and Lindsay Hubbard have called off their engagement, and the two were set to get married in November. But Carl told Lindsay he couldn't move forward with the wedding, which is obviously what Entertainment Tonight came out with. And following the split, which I'm pretty sure we're going to see on Summer House because the cameras were rolling, an insider told Us Weekly that Lindsay was devastated and blindsided. He did call off the wedding on camera. A normal person who loves someone wouldn't break up with somebody that they love on camera. Obviously, I mean, we got that part. But no matter how many problems you may have, you don't do something like that on camera for the world to see the reaction. Paige, it's like everything at this point feels like obviously. Paige obviously is not surprised. Captain Lee obviously didn't know. It kind of all now seems to be obvious. The only thing that didn't really feel obvious was this whole alleged baby mama. The woman who they're calling the mistress, which I told you guys that I hate the word mistress, but that he might have had the pregnancy scare with while cheating on Lindsay, allegedly. That didn't fall under the category of obviously. But hold on, we're not done. So this came really out of the blue for me. I just got a text from Carl that I haven't read yet, but I had no clue because we are supposed to be at the wedding in November, 2 days after my birthday. He told his co-host, Sam, on September 6th, the episode of Salty with Captain Lee, per Us Weekly. According to Lee, Lindsay and Carl were in the midst of planning their big day when the news broke. They already had the venue and a special block of rooms at the hotel for all of their guests that were flying in. Lindsay already had her bachelorette party planned, and her hair and her makeup run through was done. I don't know what happened. Carl and I are close, and if I did know exactly what happened, I wouldn't tell you. I don't think it is rude unless he said, Lee, this is okay for you to make public knowledge. But back in March, Carl appeared on Watch What Happens Live, and he confirmed that he and Lindsay, well, their wedding would be in Mexico before speaking of his possible officiant. We're still working out some of the logistics, but we're going to have a conversation with Captain Lee. And Captain Lee was supposed to be the officiant. So there you go. But as Bravo fans may know, Lee and Carl grew close to one another after Carl's older brother Curtis passed away of a drug overdose in 2020 because Lee had suffered the tragic loss of his son, Josh, the previous year with his own battle with addiction. And he offered Carl support, which is, unfortunately, it's like trauma bonding. It's like you don't want to bond with, I just kind of, not to this level, but trauma bonding is kind of, it's good for you to have somebody to talk to about things that you're going through in your life, but it's really unfortunate that that's what you're bonding over because nobody wants to go through certain things. And something like this, like a family member passing from an overdose, you don't really have too much control over that. And that in itself is just, it's no matter what, it's going to be a tough, sad situation. but it seemed like they were able to lean on each other. Speaking of leaning on each other, well, Lindsay is leaning on all of her girlfriends while she is in Portugal. Yeah, even though she's not having her wedding, she still flew to Europe to celebrate her former Summer House co-star Jacqueline Schumann's wedding. She posted a group photo with numerous wedding attendees, which the bride later shared on her Instagram story on Thursday. The entire group wore white to what appeared to be the rehearsal dinner, while she obviously is the one who's wearing blue. Now, both of them appeared on the first season of the Bravo reality series in 2017 alongside Carl, Kyle Cook, Christina Gibson, Stephen McGee, Everett Weston, and Ashley Workis and Lauren Workis. But she didn't return after the first season. Lindsay, however, has been on ever since. So Lindsay was like, oh, you want to go on and live your life and have like the best time and potentially get married in Portugal? That's okay. You go do that. But Lindsay's trip to Portugal marks the first time that fans have seen her since her and Carl called off their engagement just 3 months before their scheduled wedding. And I'm kind of surprised that Lindsay was able to get to Portugal without anybody taking photos and posting, especially with all of this coming out. And everyone has been saying that Lindsay has been held up in her New York City apartment, Tribeca, $11,000 a month apartment, and just bawling her eyes out, devastated. Well, Lindsay's right here. She's not all smiles. I'm not going to lie. She doesn't look like she's like, oh my God, I'm so excited to celebrate. But she does look like, oh, okay, I'm not crying and sitting in my apartment and wasting away. So, anyways, hours after the news broke, Page Six obtained exclusive photos of Carl appearing like he was not having the best time or the best day, and that was in New York City. But eyewitnesses then spotted him at LaGuardia Airport after leaving, and I think he ended up in Minnesota. Nobody was actually sure. But what they said, a source said things are tense right now. And a production source also told Page Six that the aftermath of the couple split will 100% play out on Summer House. Whether it was blindsided or not, whatever they're saying, I'm just shocked at this point. One, how did you not tell Captain Lee? How is this news to him and he's all of a sudden getting a text message? Two, I get like, it's better to cancel a wedding before getting married and then making a mistake and then having all of the people fly out, go to a wedding, celebrate your wedding, and then be like, oh, this is not the person I want to be with. But having all of the plans, having the officiant, having the block of rooms in the hotel and having a specific like little area, and then canceling it last minute, and then potentially having what they're calling a mistress who had a pregnancy scare. This is messy as hell. Guys, I want to hear what your thoughts are. Go ahead and comment below because I know you have all of the thoughts. But before you go, don't forget to go to the comment section of this video, click on the link because we're doing hot, messy topics right after this. Love you guys. Bye. Smash the like button.